our presentation is called Honestly H&M, You Can Do Better. And we're going to talk about a project that we've done together. So, yeah.
Present ourselves?
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Torni.
And I'm Ingrid. And we work together as a creative advertising duo currently in the Oslo company. We've worked together for 8 years. But today we're going to talk about something that happened outside of work.
So, in August last year, I was in maternity leave and web shopping clothes for my son. And I went to H&M.com and clicked kids clothes and boys since he was a boy. He's a boy. So that's what you do. And then I got all these kinds of clothes for boys. They were mostly a variety of blue, green, and gray. Shirts with like scary dinosaurs, sharks, and skulls, and astronauts. And some had inspiring quotes on them, such as "Create the future" and "Time to go and change the world." And one of the sweaters was this one. And I loved how a big retailer like H&M creates these motivational quotes for our next generation. But I suddenly wondered, I was in the boys section. I was wondering, do they have these in the girls section as well? They should have, right? Because it's an orange, pretty unisex sweater. Looks unisex to me. But I had a feeling that it wasn't. And I was right. What met me in the girls section was quite different. Bright colors, pink, glitter, kittens, hearts, and My Little Pony. And no inspirational quotes like this one, none. The only things they had were inspirational quotes like, "Meow, you're awesome." And it's the little things that matters. And I don't really know why, but it became all clear to me then that, we all want equality for men and women. So why are we shaping children into these stereotype boxes of like tough boys and cute girls from their like this small and don't even know who they are themselves?
And some people might say that this is a first world problem, or not a problem at all. It's just a sweater. You can wear whatever you want. But if you look at society today, we're far away from a place where men and women are equal. There are still way too few female leaders in the world, and it's still actually not socially acceptable for men to cry. And when you see these old-fashioned statements on children's clothes from that young age, that's not helping closing the gender gap, is it? And of course, you can choose to buy a sweater from the different section, but people tend to follow the rules and guidelines and do what's safe. And a lot of parents have actually also told us that children pick up on this really fast. So they say to their moms, "But mom, I can't wear that. That's a boy's sweater," because they hear it from somewhere. And H&M have a unique opportunity to actually help closing the gender gap. They're one of the world's biggest clothing retailers with 4,000 stores in more than 60 countries all over the world. They have a massive impact, and they can use that to inspire society to welcome people to be whoever they are.
So I wrote to H&M on Facebook about this sweater, arguing why this should be in the girls section and not just the boys section, and how they make it harder for kids to be themselves, as long as they design these completely different collections for boys and girls. And the problem is, when they label these clothes, there are some people sitting there and saying that this is a boy sweater, this goes out to the boys section, and this one goes out to the girls section. And I specifically asked them not to tell us that people are free to shop in whatever section they want, because it's simply not that easy, as Ingrid said. And then I got this long answer, and the conclusion was, our customer prefer a divided children's section, blah, 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 but they are welcome to shop in the section they want. Which is kind of bullshit, because they're the ones who put these barriers there in the first place, and then they're welcoming their customers to break them. So, but even though it was a predictable answer, and even though I thought it was very dull, it was clear that people wanted some kind of change, because
we got a lot of response.
Yes, we got a lot of response, and other people who said thank you for addressing this and talking about this. And you know, the answer from H&M was, it just provoked me. It just made me want to do something more to make them actually listen.
So Torny, sitting at home with her baby in maternity leave, calls me at work and tells me what's going on, and that she just can't let this go. This is very typical of Torny. And she's asking me what we can do to make H&M listen. We have to do something. We can't just let them have the last word. And our first thought is, of course, let's initiate a boycott.
Yay!
But that felt like it wouldn't have had an impact. And also we wanted to do something positive, not start a war, but inspire. And we brainstormed for a bit, wondering if we can make our own unisex clothes that were similar to H&M's and sell them. A little bit difficult, that one. Or if we could make a unisex website and just resell H&M clothes through that.
Because, you know, we could like go and buy H&M clothes and then just sell it online in another web shop, but
then we had to promote the website, and it was kind of difficult too.
And we didn't want to get sued or anything, so.
And we couldn't do anything with their stores or their web shop or the collections, but what we could do that was actually doable, and that actually we are quite good at doing, was their advertising. So that's what we decided to do. Create the advertising campaign that we wish they would have. And give it to them for free.
Because that's what we do.
So all we had to do really was to take some new product photos with, I'm sorry about the morbid sketch here, but with some different models. And then we were good to go.
So then we went shopping. We went bananas at H&M and shopped lots of clothes from the boys and the girls section. I think we spent around like $500. But you know, H&M has this 30 days return policy, so at least they do something, right? So we delivered it all back, except for the sweater. And by the way, when we were shopping, we saw this little dinosaur-dressed boy who was standing there, you know, totally in love with this sequin heart dress. And it just made us like more confident that, you know, this is all wrong. He shouldn't have to, you know, not be able to buy this. So yeah, it was clear for us that what we had to do, and we went. We hit the studio with the photographer we knew from work, Rune Bendiksen, and we gathered some children we borrowed from friends and friends of friends and Facebook parenting groups, and we had a Sunday in studio and just. You know, these kids aren't used to be in front of camera, but they were amazing. And we had a lot of nice material after that.
And then post-production lasted forever.
Yeah.
Because when you don't have a client that we're used to putting a deadline for us, there's really no rush, and everything can always get a little bit better. And it's hard to stop tweaking. And by this time, the idea had grown from being just product photos to being product film, and also video letter, and also a website. We set up a simple Squarespace website just to gather all the information and materials there to make it easy peasy for the press.
We hoped that we would get some press, but even though we didn't know, we thought that let's make it easy to write about it and just put it out there so we have everything, so everything's up there.
So we had an open letter to H&M explaining the whole project, and we had the campaign photos with bylines, and everything was cleared to just use them for the press. And we had a campaign film. But the most important element to get attention was the video letter. It explained the project, and we knew that it was through this specific video we would get our attention. It had to be interesting, emotional, have a hook in the beginning, and work without music. All the ingredients for a great Facebook film.
Yeah. And this is an early storyboard, and we created so many scripts before we thought we had it. And then there was music. I don't know if you can read this, but in this version it says, and here comes Margaret Berger, full volume, and lots of cool kids dancing around. We had this Margaret Berger song, Samantha, in our minds from the beginning. But we had to do all of this without any budget. And still, when we were sitting there editing, we tried to find free stock music that worked as good as that one. But it takes a lot of time to find the perfect music, also in stock archives. So eventually it actually felt more doable to try and convince Sony and BMG to let us use her song for free. So we had a dialogue of like 9,000 emails, and then finally at the end they said, "Hey Torny, okay, we're in." So we got to use that music, and we're really glad.
But there was one major reason that it took forever to get this launched.
And that was the anxiety.
What if it's not such a good idea to fight big brands when you work with brands for a living?
What if we lose our job?
Or don't get a new one?
Maybe we should just, not stand behind this ourselves, but just kind of find a charity or organization that we can give the idea to them, and then they can launch it, and then we can hide behind them and say, we created this. But then again, what if they fuck up and just ruin the idea and want to tweak everything and create something different? Or maybe we also thought about launching or creating a new organization for this. There was a lot of
just to not have our own names on it.
Yeah.
And we were afraid that what if this get a lot of attention and H&M can sue us?
Yeah.
We didn't know what was legal or not.
And we did kind of copy their logo. Or kind of the worst thought was like, we've spent so much time doing this already. What if we launch this and it doesn't get any likes at all, and we just feel like idiots?
7 likes. And that was that.
Yeah. So I was the one who was going to upload this film to my Facebook, because I had created the first, I wrote to H&M in the first place, and it just felt like it felt like the right thing to do to upload it to my own Facebook, and also because we know that Facebook promotes and lifts content from private persons instead of pages and brands. And I was so sick to my stomach the evening that we had decided to upload it. We decided on for it to be on a Sunday because we know that people are more in front of their social media accounts on Sundays. So we knew that it was a good evening to do it. But I was sick to my stomach when I uploaded it, but finally did it 4 months after we hit the studio. So it took 4 months. And 4 months after this idea was born.
And about 4 minutes after my daughter was born.
Yeah. Because Ingrid was still in the hospital after giving birth when we launched it. But then it was finally out. And my notification icon went crazy. I've never experienced anything like that. Every 5 seconds, there were new likes and comments and shares. First from friends, and then friends of friends, and then from people I have no idea who they are. And I was just sitting there glued to my screen and just watching this idea go, or this film go viral. And it's a pretty good feeling. We should make more viral stuff all the time. And I went to bed at 20,000 views and woke up to 60, and a lot of message requests from different journalists.
And I was in my own baby bubble when it started taking in messages from Tony every other minute about links to all the world's, yes, really all the world's websites that wrote about us. And a lot of them we still don't know what said, but who cares? It went viral. And in 1 week, it had reached 600,000 people, and Tony had a full-time job as a PR manager and social media manager.
Yeah, I did spend a lot of time in the comments field just trying to answer people. You know, there were a lot of positive comments, but also some people who preached whataboutism and were just being like, didn't see the point or being negative, and I felt that it was important to answer them and give them like proper answers quickly, because common fields have a tendency to become this spiral of negativity. So yeah. And we were also invited to God Morgen Norge. Yeah.
And then our parents noticed.
Yeah. My grandma even watched. So it took the campaign from being just this internet thing to actually becoming kind of mainstream in Norway.
And then the question everyone asked us, did you hear from H&M?
Yes. The Norwegian PR manager emailed us right after it hit the media one Monday morning. And they said they loved the message of the campaign, but it was still a pretty boring and defensive reply.
People are welcome to shop in the section they want.
Yeah. And we did offer them to use this campaign. That was part of our idea, was to kind of just put everything out there for them so that they would just, look even more boring by not doing anything. We wanted to make it really easy for them. But of course, we knew that they would probably never use it. I guess that's like negotiating with terrorists for them. So we did offer them to use it. But as expected, they just waited for the storm to pass.
So it didn't work?
Even though they didn't use the campaign or any photos or anything like that, that wasn't the most important thing for us. The most important thing for us was to inspire them or show them that a lot of people want to see changes in your stores and in your collections, and just work on your product. And we have seen changes from H&M after we launched the campaign.
They haven't given us any credit, just so.
No. So we can't take any credit for this, but we've seen changes. So
we're happy about that.
We're happy about it. This is from the girls, because they still had the girls and boys section a couple of months later. They still do. But at least we did see some other types of prints. This is, of course, this had to be pink, but if we go to the boys section, it's actually there as well. So they started to, put these typical boys and girls clothes in the opposite sections, which is extremely important when you shop online, because when you're in store, you get an overview of the store, and it's easier to just, oh, I like this sweater. Oh, that was the boys section. Okay, but who cares? But when you're online, you're actually, following this kind of menu system, and you never get to see the other kinds of clothes unless they present them to you. And this is also from the boys section. So something has happened. And they also communicated a bit differently. They show a lot more, pink on boys and tougher girls, and
better mix.
Yeah, and they also this summer they launched these sequin T-shirts with more dinosaurs and sharks and more. I hate to call it boyish prints, but that's what they. Of course, that's the way they do it, but it's the start. It's baby steps, and I've heard that they become a big hit. It was a big hit this summer for boys to also wear sequin shirts, and I think it's a step in the right direction.
But the very best results of this project was to see all the response, that it actually moved people. Someone cried when reading our website, and we got a lot of people who sent us messages and thanked us and supported us, and our little side project inspired kids to dare to be themselves. This was from a Norwegian mother that we know, and her son finally dared to buy a pink jacket that he had really wanted for some time after seeing our film.
So some last cheesy words. I guess what we want you to take with you, if you're a brand, use the power you've got to create a better society. You will not regret it. And all creatives, use your skills to show brands how it should be done. Yeah. Tack.